This isn't like, oh my God, what a strange situation. This is irritating.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. This woman needs Dr. Phil's help because in her mind, she has developed this odd illness that it causes her to eat all day. I have the same thing too, I think. It's called boredom and laziness, but all jokes aside, let's see if this is a real thing or not, and if she can get some help from Dr. Phil on this odd medical phenomenon.
How long will this last if you don't get to food?
I haven't pushed it beyond half an hour, I don't think, ever.
Okay, this lady really sounds like me right now. Apparently, if she doesn't eat something else within another half hour, she starts to freak out. And according to this woman, it is imperative that she eats at all times of the day. It's an odd illness that is apparently very real, and it is obviously affecting her life a lot. Like, imagine your day-to-day life if you had to be eating every 20 minutes. That would just be difficult. Yo, real quick, you guys, we celebrated my girlfriend's birthday yesterday, so I would like to surprise her. If you guys could go to her IG and just flood her comments with happy birthday wishes, it would be awesome. Anyways, back into the video.
Really? Every cell in your body is screaming.
Personally, I need more info on this to make a clear decision, but off the jump, this sounds very odd, and I don't think it would really exist, you know? I'm willing to think that she is instead probably just coping with anxiety in an odd way, or maybe obsessive compulsive disorder. I mean, before she was interviewed here, they were showing her clips, and she had to pull out a box of chicken broth, or something that came in a box, out of her purse that she just starts chugging on stage, since she apparently has to have those calories for some reason or another. This whole thing is very odd already. Yo guys, before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal, you just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works.
Acute, and it's just second by second metastasizing into this incapacitating horror show.
So here behind her, they have a clip of apparently what happens if she goes too long without food, and it looks like she just got second place in a game of Warzone after having the advantage or something, bro. Like, she is really hurting right now. So if this is real, I would think that she should probably go to an actual doctor that can help her and get her treated or maybe diagnosed instead of going on Dr. Phil's show, but you know, maybe she just wanted the clout or something. I don't know, this is just an odd story all around.
Your typical daily intake, we've calculated to be about 7,702 calories.
Dude, she is over here eating like Matt Stoney when he's doing a challenge for YouTube, but that's just every day for her. I'm surprised she's not like obese from this, but I guess it's a somewhat new development in her life, and maybe she would be obese if this doesn't stop soon, or who knows, maybe she works out a lot to balance this and counteract it. I'm trying to imagine what you would have to eat in a day to eat over 7,000 calories. She's legit doing like 6 times what I would try to eat when I was losing weight, which is absolutely insane. I'm willing to bet that the calorie-dense foods she's eating aren't super healthy either, so that would explain why she feels terrible all the time, and probably feeds into her delusion of this being a very real illness.
You'll eat a half a dozen of those, then you eat this much of leafy vegetables, then ice cream, you know, French fries.
All right, so here's my problem with this. I get that healthy food sucks and is really trash sometimes. Yeah, we all know that. But if you have a disease that forces you to eat all day, maybe stay away from eating half a pack of chocolate wafers and ice cream every single time you wake up. They had to wheel out this giant cart full of food, what seems to be a random assortment, and according to Dr. Phil, this is what she eats every single day. Yeah, she's having some nice leafy greens and stuff, but then she offsets that with a bowl of ice cream and a thing of fries. Like, no wonder she feels terrible. She probably started binge eating and then had the negative health effects from that, and decided to keep doing it since she didn't expect that to be causing her health to decline. It just seems like a vicious cycle if you ask me.
And you had no idea what she was dealing with when you first moved in?
No, I had no idea what she was dealing with. I knew from what she had she'd explained a little bit.
So surprisingly, this woman is really good at hiding this from people that she's even close with. Her ex-boyfriend, who she was living with at the time, didn't even notice for the longest time, and that is kind of crazy to me. You know, you'd think if someone was eating 7,000 calories worth of food every day, it would be very hard to hide what you're eating all the time. Maybe she just got ninja hiding moves and stores food around the house like that box of random chicken broth that she started drinking on stage a while ago.
Because I couldn't put my finger on anything that was going on, I was like, maybe I have to remove myself from the equation, and maybe that's the problem.
So it sounds like these two might have ended their relationship because of this whole illness that appeared for her all of a sudden, since it was such an odd thing to be a part of, and this guy couldn't really figure out what was going on, so, you know, he kind of started to think maybe he was the one that was causing her this stress and causing her to act weird all the time, so he just removed himself from the situation and the relationship in general. That makes me think that this is a pretty serious condition for this woman, or at least she wholeheartedly believes that it is. She was truly just eating to eat. I think she'd be able to stop or tone it down if it meant keeping her relationship intact, but she wasn't able to, so that shows to me that it's pretty serious for her.
Do you get the sensation that she's still in there?
100%. She's incredibly funny, incredibly witty. She has an amazing mind.
Well, Dr. Phil, she just eats a lot, bro. Like, it's not like this dude is going to forget all the good times he had with this woman, or forget the love that he probably still has for her as someone that is still heavily in his life. What a weird question to ask, but I guess people really would just give up on this person that was acting weird and eating all the time, or at least some people. Thankfully, this guy is normal and not like that, and he's sticking with her while they try to figure out what has gotten a hold of her life like this. I read one comment below this video that actually brought up a good point that's worth mentioning. Now, obviously, I'm not just going to diagnose this woman or make a ton of assumptions, but this person said that maybe she was over having to fit a standard of being skinny and beautiful all her life, and was using this as a way to let go and just freaking stress eat for some time, which would make sense because this woman was a Hollywood body double for years, and I'm sure that's stressful having to basically be the same look and size of Hollywood's biggest actresses at the time and know how to do stunts. Like, it's a Hail Mary theory kinda, but it makes a lot of sense as well.
This is honestly, without doubt, the most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my life, and I've done some difficult things.
So now Dr. Phil has another one of her friends on the show, and this one is a lot more intense compared to her ex-boyfriend that we just met. She was saying in her intro video how this is pretty much an intervention for her friend that needs to happen, and that when she looks at her now, she doesn't really see the same lively, active, and happy person that she was once friends with. Kind of harsh to hear, but maybe this woman really needs some tough love right now, and this is what's going to help her.
And I'm doing this, and I have a feeling that it could be the end of our relationship, which I hope it's not.
Wow, so this stress-eating weird illness phenomenon is so bad that apparently it could cause a rift in their relationship and cause their friendship to end. I guess I'm not involved, so I can't judge, but that doesn't seem like a real friend to me. That's an odd thing to end a straight-up good relationship for, but also I get where she's coming from a tiny bit. I'm sure it's probably very frustrating to see your once health-conscious friend go down this path where they are practically a food dumpster and eating 24/7, and I'm sure going to places with her is not as fun when she's pulling out random food from her storage spots, aka her purse, and just munching on the go.
What's your theory?
I personally believe, and obviously I'm not a doctor, but I personally believe that a lot of her issues are stemming from emotional trauma that she's gone through.
At least this woman seems to be on the same page with me on this issue. You know, it's clear that this is probably not a real disease at the current time. I've never heard of someone else having this, and instead this is probably her coping with some sort of negative emotion in an odd yet specific way. Nobody chooses to eat 7,000 calories a day for fun, you know. There's got to be something else to it.
I took a look at your language, and I found it to be very catastrophic. Very catastrophic, very dramatic and very catastrophic.
So Dr. Phil has pointed out this to someone else in the past, and I think it's a good thing to note for many people out there. I'm gonna be honest, this doesn't really have a super complete ending, this whole saga. Sadly, she doesn't really get offered help at the end. This is one good nugget of information that he leaves her that I do want to point out to you guys. And with anything in life, it's almost always about perspective. Even if she really does have this disease, and it does in fact exist, which I'm not saying it does, she could benefit from changing her outlook on it a lot, or changing how she words things when they start to get bad. Instead of making everything sound so catastrophic and like it's the end of the world, being realistic with things and taking them as they come with a positive outlook can really help you out in your own life. And I think it would help this woman out tons when it comes to eating.
There's a simple description, the disorder, it's in the DSM-5 that's called.
So sounds like Dr. Phil's stance is that this woman has disorder and doesn't know how to classify it, but more than likely, like I said earlier, she has had something in her past that is just causing this anguish or trauma, and as a result, she is coping by eating mountains of food to suppress those feelings. I'm sure tons of people out there do this as well, and it sounds like she is pretty far along in this and might have benefited from some actual therapy or counseling, so I'm kind of bummed that Dr. Phil didn't offer that to her, since he definitely has the resources for it. He claims that the proof in her not really having this is that she is able to sleep throughout the night just fine without food, which does kind of make sense. Like, how can she not go 30 minutes without food while awake, but then 8 hours of sleep is just fine? Like, you'd think she'd wake up from the hunger pangs or something if it truly does make her body shake and all that. All in all, Dr. Phil doesn't offer this woman any further help beyond saying, hey, this isn't real, but you're having trouble coping with earlier trauma, good luck. Which basically is a huge disappointing end, but hopefully it still allowed this woman some closure. I would have liked to see her offered to go to the ranch or something even lesser, to where she could really talk to a professional and get her bearings straight on this and see if it really is something that she can get over. I believe she can get past this if she works hard on it. But let me know what you guys thought of this story down in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.